let's define what leader is.
Yes.
Whether you're running the kids to soccer or if you're running a Fortune 50 company, in all areas. This doesn't necessarily mean that you're a suit and tie. It just means that you're leading your community, your home, your team, whatever that may look like. There are these four horsemen, if you will, that people use and they get comfortable using. Like one of them is the victim. As leaders, when you have that victim mentality, you're kind of like looking at how your team's going to screw you over. You're looking at, of course, I'm stuck in traffic again. If you're looking at the world through that victim lens, you're going to find it.
We believe that you are strong by design, and you were made in God's image to have a strong body, mind, and spirit. You're listening to the #1 Strength and Health Authority podcast in the world. So let's get ready to unlock your potential and transform your life in today's episode. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode here on the Strong by Design podcast. Hosting today, Coach Chris Wilson. So excited to have you, as always. If you are a return listener of the show, we thank you so much for coming back every single episode and making time for us. That means a lot. We appreciate your support, and we appreciate you sharing these episodes with friends and family members, neighbors, coworkers, whoever it is that you feel can benefit from all of the great conversations and the amazing guests that we've had on the show over the years. If you're a brand new listener to the show, welcome. Where have you been? We've been doing this for quite a while now. We have a lot of past episodes, hundreds and hundreds of past episodes. Go back and listen to them. The show has been excellent for so long. I'm not the only host. There are other hosts of the podcast as well. And we cover everything from body, mind, spirit, leadership, holistic health, mindset, building muscle, men over 40 stuff. I mean, we really do have it all. And we are so excited for our guest today, which is somebody that was introduced to me from a mutual friend, acquaintance, Mr. Brian Klepacki, who is a former host of the Strong by Design podcast. In fact, when we started in 2018, he and I were really the two main voices on the show, and we did a lot of episodes together. Brian's just awesome. He's a good friend, and we've had a lot of moments in this facility together with all the YouTube content and products that we made together and all the podcasts. And so it's a kind of an open door policy with him. If he feels he has somebody in his life that's a great candidate for the show, he always mentions them or introduces them to me, and we've had great people over the years because of that. So a shout out to Brian Klepacki, a great friend and voice on the podcast. Go back and listen to a lot of his episodes. In the first 100 episodes, Brian's on the show a lot. So our guest today, Kelly Moser, he's a leadership coach. He's a keynote speaker. He's an author of his debut book that we're talking about today, Move Your Butt, which I'm really excited about. Butt with one T, not with two. People listening know that we talk about butts a lot on our podcast just because it's such a powerful muscle for athletes, for performance, for training. But this is a very different butt. And so we're going to be covering that today. It's very exciting. He grew up in North Carolina, in Mount Airy, North Carolina, a blue-collar town, small roots or whatever you want to call it. I'm not exactly geographically, I'm not exactly familiar with where that is. I spent a lot of time in North Carolina, but usually the southwest section of North Carolina in the Blue Ridge area when my wife and I and kids go on vacation. Mount Airy is exactly where?
It's right before you get to Virginia on the I-77 corridor. So it's in that same foothills, Appalachian Trail, kind of range,
And it's small town feel, probably a lot of space between you and the neighbor's house, kind of thing.
It's got kind of all. It's grown, so there's a couple of stoplights, a Walmart, a couple of some restaurants and stuff. It's a developed place, but it's still got that. You have a four-wheeler and you do some hunting and fishing, and you can go get lost in the woods if you want, kind of place too.
I like that.
You can also go to a grocery store and
That's why we go up there. We've been vacationing in that area, that sector of the country, that North Georgia, that southeastern Tennessee, or that southwest portion of North Carolina, just because, it's about a 10-hour drive or so from the Tampa area. And we always stay in different places and different towns that are all, kind of within about 100 miles of each other, and just enjoy it every time. And a few places we've repeated and gone back to, and maybe even stayed at the same place. But it's just such a great if you like nature, if you like to just get out and hike or bike or kayak or listen to the birds in the morning and be at some elevation without the Florida humidity, kind of any time of year we've gone up there, we've just always enjoyed it, and I could see myself retiring up in that area.
Yeah, it's a place where people aren't going to bother you, but if you want to meet a friend, just raise the hood of your truck up, and somebody's going to come and be like, "Hey, you all right over here?" And so it's kind of one of those places. Great place to be from.
That's awesome. So you did something.
I did something.
This is a first time too for this. For this is your first book. Now, obviously, you have a lot of experience, professional experience, leadership experience. But what really prompted you to say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and write. I'm going to go ahead and write this book. I got to get this out.
I'll give you the TED Talk version, and then I'll give you the truth.
Okay. All right. I want both. We have time.
The TED Talk version is I wanted to give something, which is both are true. So I wanted to put something out in the world that would add value to my people, and my people being somebody that I used to be, kind of thing. I wanted to put something out there that if you didn't know where to start, this would be a good place. But also, if you're on your way climbing the ladder, there's going to be tips and takeaways that you can apply to your life right now. You don't have to go to college or have a thesis or write a dissertation. This is practical stuff, everyday stuff. We were talking earlier about, simple movements in the gym.
Yeah.
You don't need anything complicated.
Right.
That's what this book is. The truth, or a little bit closer to the reason why, is I made a promise 10 years ago in a journal that I wanted to write a book. I wanted to sell one copy of a book that I wrote 10 years ago. So I've kicked this can.
This was to yourself. Now, if this is in a journal, this is a promise to yourself.
Well, I was a couple of years into personal development 10 years ago-ish, and so you start to think about goals, and that's not something that I was raised to think about. Personal development goals. Grew up in church, and there's that own kind of spiritual development in school, which is basically get to the next grade.
Right.
But nothing like, what do you want to do? What's your purpose? Even though that word kind of gets that vomity feeling in your mouth.
I know.
But yeah, I just wanted to keep that promise that I made, and it was just one of those things that kept getting a good excuse to kick down the road, and finally, it was like, okay, we're going to commit to this thing, follow my own recipe that the book is about, and so now it's out in the world. I'm super excited about it. The response has been amazing. We had a launch party, and a bunch of people showed up, and that's nice. It's odd though too, because while I like being the center of attention, I'm a keynote speaker.
You're used to everyone being focused on you.
But at the same time, it's odd when there's that much love and that much. It's overwhelming because that little voice is like, "You're just some dumb hillbilly from Mayberry with a girl's name, right?" Like that voice is strong too. So.
No, hey, you know what? One of the toughest dudes in the history of movies had that name, Kelly.
Oh yeah. Right.
Bad News Bears.
Yeah.
And everybody remembers that guy. He smoked and rode on a motorcycle.
Yeah, I've done that too.
And was the best baseball player on the field. So,
right.
That's pretty funny. Yeah. No, I like it's a great. Actually, at first though, when Brian did do the intro, yeah, of course, in a text message, I'm thinking, oh, this is a woman that he knows from church.
Yeah.
I didn't know nothing, and then I think he said, or I think we spoke. And he said he a couple of times. I'm like, oh, so I just
the favorite thing. I spent many years in my corporate job or whatever, and we traveled all over the world. And I would look up the people or the team that I would meet so I knew what they looked like.
Yes.
And I'd only emailed these people, never talked to them. And so the look you get when you say, "Hi, my name is Kelly," and you put your hand out there, and they look like I thought you were a girl, it's the best.
It's good.
I don't know what it is.
There's something about it.
It's like, yeah, I'm a guy, thanks. I just sit down at the breakfast table and everybody's looking at me like, who's this?
So this
dude?
is that person
right.
we all. Sorry, I just had a one of those dry spitters that just flew off. If you're not watching on YouTube, you didn't see it, but and you definitely didn't hear it. There's something else though that prompted you to write this book. There was another catalyst, if you will, and this is actually something I thought a little bit about because I too lost a sibling several years ago, and there was a shift that happened in me for sure. And I'm sure anyone listening, when you lose certainly a family member, I think it's different when it's a grandparent or it's a neighbor or it's somebody an elder in your life. But when it's a sibling, there's something that resonates with you differently for sure. And so you had lost your sister, and in that losing of your sibling, you found purpose. And could you share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I'm 7 years older than my sister, and at 16, she was diagnosed with glioblastoma. It's a brain cancer.
Yeah, that's what my brother died of.
The worst kind, right? There's no beating it, only fighting it. Yeah. Typically, people get about 18 months. Mary made it 3 years, almost 3 years.
Did she have a surgery to remove as much as they could?
It's a crazy story, man. Like her eyes this eye was starting to mess up, and so they would go to the optometrist, and they're like, "Your eyes are fine." Yep. Led to a scan, found a tumor. This tumor was scheduled for Saturday. It's like Wednesday or Thursday, and a nurse comes in and is like, "Mary's not right." Calls the doctor and like, "You need to come and look at this." And he's like, "Nah, I was just there. It'll be fine." And she's like, "No, you need to come now." And it hemorrhaged, and they did emergency brain surgery. Wow. And like, she came home Sunday. It's crazy. Like, open you up, scoop it out, patch you up, send you home. It's crazy to think about.
Wow.
But they told us from the beginning, like, look, this is it. It is what it is. This will be the cause of death. It's just no getting out of it. And so I guess the first kind of thing is seeing her get that diagnosis.
At that young age,
16,
too, by the
right?
way.
Yeah.
That's extremely young.
Me, and you never know what you're going to do until you're put in that position, but I would think that, I'm going to have the pity party of all pity parties and just kind of sulk my way, probably have a little bit of a rebellious kind of streak there until the end. And Mary was like, "No, I'm going to go to school." She was voted homecoming queen. She started taking college classes to become a teacher.
Wow.
And so watching her live, plus she started a God is Good movement. There's stickers and T-shirts and all kinds of things in her hometown. And you just see somebody fighting for every day like that. It kind of strips away the buts, right? Like, I want to write this book, but, and then you give an excuse or something, or maybe I'll get to that one day, but right now it's just too messy, or whatever that thing is in your life. And so the catalyst is, we all kind of sit behind this excuse or limiting belief or negative self-talk in some way, and you just kick the can down the road. One of my favorite stories, this is a personal development oldie goldie, but it still holds true. There's a guy walking down an old country road, and he hears this dog moaning and groaning in pain. And as he gets close to the house, he looks up on the porch. There's an old man and a dog. The dog's just sitting there rolling around, just moaning. And the guy says, "Hey, man, what's wrong with your dog?" He says, "Well, he's laying on a nail." And the guy says, "Well, why doesn't he get off the nail?" And the guy says, "Well, I guess it ain't hurting him bad enough yet." And I think as people, we have that same thing. We don't hit the gym until the threat of buying a whole new wardrobe hits. Yep. We don't have that difficult conversation until somebody's like, "Do this or else." So we have to have that,
we have
that
a breaking
pain point. We
yeah.
have to get to that, rock bottom, that kind of place of like, nah, it's time to do something, or the consequences are going to be even worse.
Yeah.
And I think for me, it's like, you had this realization where Mary lived a lot in 3 years, and here I am, able-bodied, good job, good life, in this pity party, in this, like, well, I don't want to kind of thing. And then you just have that realization. It's like, nah, she would want me to do something with this thing.
Yeah.
And the crossroad of that and finding personal development and going to those events, and that's where Move Your Butt came from. As far as the phrase comes, we were standing outside of an event waiting to go in, the kind like big room, big speaker, hundreds of people.
Sure.
And I'm standing outside one of these events waiting to go in, and I'm looking around going, surely somebody here has got the answers I'm looking for, right? Like I'm climbing the corporate ladder. I got my manager title. I'm starting to do some things, but it just feels like more is out there. And I don't even know what that means yet, but I'm going to these events trying to find the answers for that.
Sure.
Beside of me, an older, well-dressed gentleman, kind of this quiet, confident type. And we start small talk. And about 2 minutes later, I'm vomiting my entire life story to this guy. I'm like, I know there's more out there, but, and I want to grow in the corporate world, but.
Well, you're what?
And
You're in your early, mid-20s?
Yeah, mid-20s, something like that. And he never tried to fix me, never offered a solution. He just sat there and listened, like really listened. Like,
let me guess, he's one of the presenters.
No, he wasn't. But
okay.
you could tell he was a seasoned guy.
Okay.
Waits for me to finally finish my story, and he leans in, very stoic, very coach-like, and goes, so what do you think you should do? And before my filter could kick in, before I could think about it, before that little voice in my head that second guesses everything had a chance to chirp, I just blurted out, I need to move my butt. And his eyes got big. And, I know what that look means now because I've been coaching people for years. That's the look you get when you see somebody have a breakthrough in real time. He never said another word. And as if it were scripted into this cheesy Hallmark movie, the doors open up, everyone rushes in.
Yeah.
I don't know who this guy is, where he came from. If this
Didn't
is
see him again,
if this is
probably.
on the Angel Network, this is the Angel moment where he entered and dude, I sat there for the next 10 minutes scribbling everything down, bought the domain, like all kinds of stuff, and that's the genesis to.
And this is years ago.
Yeah. Years ago, and just kind of, I had my corporate job, and I don't know what to do with this thing. Move your butt. Okay, it's catchy.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah.
It's easy to
Well,
understand.
a lot of people have, I think, in life, when they're not looking for it necessarily, have these little epiphanies, these moments, and they should honor those things and listen to them and write them down and make it more memorable rather than it being a fleeting thing. How many times have you woken up in the morning with a great idea?
Right.
Maybe you dreamt something. But if you didn't scribble that down a little bit, it's fleet. It's gone.
There was a pastor one time said, God speaks to us in whispers.
Yeah.
And as much as I would love like the cloud parting and the lightning bolt and the burning bush and all those things.
He doesn't work
like
that way.
That's not the way it works. But these little quiet whispers, I think if people would not just get so in a hurry to get to the next thing and just just jot it down. Put it on a Post-it note on the refrigerator and see if it keeps gnawing at you. If not, if it doesn't serve you, wad it up, throw it in a trash can. There'll be another one.
I feel almost, and I'm the opposite of this, just because of my enthusiasm, my passion, especially my competitive spirit as a coach and all that stuff that I do. I'm very loud, very upfront, bold, confrontational, whatever it is. I'm all those things, but I feel like what really gets people's attention is when you bring them in close and you get real quiet. And that's when you get people's full attention, right? So it's not with the loud shouting. It's actually, get them in close, get the eye contact, and speak slowly and softly. And I think that's very powerful for people. We're just not in this fast-paced world. We're not.
And you got to speak to them, not from you.
That's right.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I could tell you what I want to hear.
Yeah.
It's in my brain. But the real art of connecting and being a coach is telling somebody the way that they need to be told. So some people do need a swift kick in the ass. That's fine.
Yep.
I need it sometimes.
Sure.
But also that trusted mentor coach leaning you in going, hey, you're better than this. I hope you know that.
Yeah.
Like,
way more powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, way more powerful. I want to go back to one point that you had made, which I don't want it to be overlooked because I think there's real power in it, is journaling. And I think When did you start doing that? Was it around the time of your sister's passing, or had you already been doing that?
I didn't know what it was called.
Okay.
But so I climbed the corporate ladder. I got a fish and wildlife degree and realized I was never going to pay off school debt if I went down that path. And then just
Probably makes you feel real good, but it's not paying a lot of bills.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I still love that thing, but I get to do it as a hobby now. But so went back to my hometown, and my uncle got on this new bakery, and that's where I spent 15 years of my corporate thing, right? So I started once I got to the supervisor and the manager role, I kept a notepad beside the bed, and I would just wake up and be like, anything from I forgot to put that on the SOP to, I got to have that talk to, all the things. And it would just wake you up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And if you say to yourself, I'm going to remember that, you ain't remembering it, right? So jotting it down. And sometimes it'd be like hieroglyphics because you're writing it half asleep or whatever. Right. But I would say that's where my journaling started. It was a way to get this tumbleweed of thought down and out of here to kind of free up some of the bandwidth, I guess.
Yep.
And then, through personal development, you start to figure out, like, this is the way to kind of orchestrate your thoughts. Like, write this down. It may be nothing. It might be something, but just something about putting pen to paper, at least for me, and you can journal in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was really once people have that, I wrote that down, and I might be onto something here. If you can make that click, I think journaling is for you.
I think it's very healthy to make sense of your thoughts, to get your emotions out sometimes in a way that's very personal, that you can look back on and read and be like, a couple years ago, I remember being in that difficult time, and you kind of see in how you got through it. I started journaling many years ago. I mean, I think I was journaling in grade school, high school. Then I got away from it. Then I kind of loosely did it in college, mostly workout-related stuff, recording all my workouts, like writing everything down. And so it's a form of journaling, right? You're writing down what you're doing and thoughts about exercise, specific things. But then it became more general, and I was back before kids. My wife and I are young, and you have that nice time where you're laying in bed and she's reading and I'm journaling, and like life is pretty simple.
Yeah, right.
I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Quiet and relaxing. And I would go out of my way to do it. And for years, so I have all these years of my thoughts and experiences together, which I think will probably be a kick for if my kids ever had interest in going back and reading and being like, oh, wow, that's what Dad was like before he had us.
Yeah.
And, and I've gotten away from it, but maybe this is a good kick in the butt, B.U.T.
There you go.
To get back to doing that again, because it does. I couldn't recommend it enough to people listening, that there's great power in doing it, and it's not a girl thing. It's not a feminine thing. Like, this is a growth thing, and this is a good reflection tool. And
there's not a right way. Like,
no, there's not a right way.
I think people get hung up on, they buy a journal, like a preformed journal.
Oh, yeah,
Maybe
I got to follow this
with the prompts
structure
and things like that. Like, when people understand, like, take what serves you, like, commit to a time frame.
Yes.
Like, I'm going to give this journaling thing, even if you poo-poo it, even if you're cynical about it, like, I'm going to do 30 days straight. And that is
10 minutes.
Plenty enough time.
Yeah.
That's plenty enough time to see, is this serving me or not? Does it feel like a chore? It's not serving you? Don't do it. Like, there's no recipe for this thing.
No, there isn't. It really isn't. I would say exactly right. How many days will I give it a go, and how many minutes in the day will I invest in it? And what time of, maybe right before bed, or maybe right when you wake up in the morning and you're having your cup of coffee is a good time. Before everybody else gets up. Make it your time to do. But I
used to have a GoPro in my truck, and I would say, hey, GoPro, start recording. And this thing would come on, and I would just start vomiting whatever thoughts it was while I was driving. And never once did I go back and listen to these things. But I think it helps when you hear what comes out of your mouth, and the same concept comes up again. You're like, and that just starts growing or developing, and Yeah.
I've had that before where I have to voice a thought
Yeah.
to make it feel more real.
Right.
Like, yeah, I thought that.
Yeah.
I got it. I'm all by myself. I might be out walking the dogs or
Right.
at home in the garage doing something, but I'll say it.
Yeah.
I'm a very vocal person. I think I got that from my mother and my dad to some degree. But my mom, she was always talking to herself, just yappity yap in the kitchen while she's cooking or whatever she's doing. But it helped her organize her thoughts. And you're not crazy just because you talk to yourself,
I think, yeah.
You can listen to yourself. That's nothing wrong with that. So. Well, I want to shift.
Okay.
Shift because getting into the book, some of the content of the book, and I really like this part because I think it resonates with people very easily because everyone in their own right is kind of a leader. So anyone listening right now, even if you're not leading a team, you're leading yourself, maybe you're leading your family. Every leader, you wrote here, every leader in your audience is riding at least one of these horses, the 4 horsemen of stagnation.
Yeah.
I would love for you to go through those briefly, just so people know what that is. Obviously, it almost sounds like a Metallica song. It sounds pretty cool. The 4 horsemen of stagnation.
Yeah.
But
It's actually a wrestling reference.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, because I grew up
WWF before the E.
Yeah, come on.
Of course, the real wrestling federation. Right?
Yeah, so the 4 horsemen. That was you're supposed to do woo afterwards.
Right,
That's kind of
okay.
where that came.
All right,
came from.
gosh,
So
it's been a
for my OG millennials, I guess that grew up on the what was it, 4 horsemen, and you had Ric Flair. And, the bushwhackers.
Yeah, the bushwhackers.
Those guys were crazy.
The brothers, right?
Yeah,
when they would like lick
each other's
their
heads and crazy. So anyway,
great.
that's a little bit kind of where that came from. But what I've found, and I've been developing leaders both in the corporate world for my own team and now as a coach for over a decade. So leader, and I think leader, let's define what leader is.
Yes.
Whether you're running the kids to soccer or if you're running a Fortune 50 company, in all areas. This doesn't necessarily mean that you're a suit and tie. It just means that you're leading your community, your home, your team, whatever that may look like.
Sure.
That is the avatar for this book. If you're that leader and you're like, how can I run this house better? How can I manage my team better? How can I grow this company better? There's going to be tips and takeaways in this.
Yeah.
And what I found was, like, there are these 4 horsemen, if you will, that people use and they get comfortable using. Like, one of them is the victim. And that's a pretty easy one to get. It's like,
Yes.
oh, the world's out to get me. These people are out to get me.
Why does this always happen to me?
Woe is me. And Jim Rohn, I love him, one of the greatest mentors in my life, even though I never met him. He's like, I don't know. Best I can figure is that happens to people like you. And that, like, if you're the victim, I guess you're the victim.
Yeah,
you
you're
know
just
what I mean?
looking for it.
Right?
You're ready for it.
Right?
Yeah.
And so as leaders, when you have that victim mentality, you're kind of like looking at how your team's going to screw you over. Mm-hmm. You're looking at, of course, I'm stuck in traffic again. Yeah. You're looking for a reason to justify what you should be doing.
You've already probably set yourself up for.
Exactly. And I'm not a manifest affirmation kind of guy. I think voicing it out there and getting it out there, I think that's important. But this isn't the movie The Secret. You're not going to manifest $1 million into your bank account. That's just not how it works. Right. But I do think if you're looking at the world through that victim lens, you're going to find it. Right?
Yep.
Oh, I'm in traffic again. It's just, this always happens to me.
Yep.
Well, maybe it does. Right? Where I live in St. Pete Beach, there's drawbridges. And so I have the plague, as my friends call it, because every time we get an Uber or they're riding with me, we're going to hit at least one of them.
Yep.
And so they're like, oh, we got stuck at the bridge. And I started doing this reflections at the drawbridge kind of thing on my stories where it's like, I'm going to be here anyway.
Yeah,
like,
I got
what thought comes to mind?
8 minutes to kill is just,
all right,
as
whatever.
this boat with a 90-foot mast comes through or whatever. Yeah.
It is. And, so I think that's the most toxic one, even though they all have their own forms of toxicity. But yeah, being a victim, and maybe it's my own personal preference. I've never really been a victim, all the death and tragedy and things and all. I don't think that happened to me, if that makes any sense.
No, it does. That makes sense to me. I think you have to get over yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
And everybody in the world's not out to get you. things just kind of happen. But if you, it's the stinking thinking. You know, I've said that before on this podcast and past episodes. The stinking thinking is something I learned from in furniture world when I worked there many years ago from one of the trainers who, and he's like, you can't have that stinking thinking because it doesn't benefit you. It doesn't benefit the person you're trying to help. And it just keeps you back, holds you back, keeps you down.
Yeah.
And it's just a pessimism that's just pervasive. It's just, people feel it. And it's not good. It's that victim mentality. So who's the other?
Well, I want to see what your favorite one is. What, like, when you look at this list, what's your?
Well, I feel
I could turn it around on you. What do you think? What do you think your horseman
I could
is?
definitely. I can certainly associate with the imposter one.
Yeah,
because I feel like
it's one of my biggest.
That's one. It's one that I don't know. I feel like it works a couple of different ways. I feel like there's people who feel like imposters. They don't feel like they are the person they project to the world.
Right.
But it's almost like they're selling themselves short because maybe you are. Maybe you are the person that everyone sees you as. You feel smaller than what you're putting out there. But then I think it works the other way too, where people you're trying to inflate. You're trying to portray yourself as something bigger than you actually are.
Right.
And you are going to fool some people, certainly.
I think a lot of people think that arrogance and confidence are holding hands, and they're not. It's a chasm. Like, it's the Grand Canyon apart, right? Confidence, because when you grow up in a small town, and again, this isn't blaming or shaming or anything like that.
Sure.
But small town, okay, be seen, not heard. Don't get to, because people with money, they did something shady to get it.
Yes,
and,
right. Everybody with money.
You don't want people to think you're a certain way, and so there's a little bit of that in there. And so that imposter syndrome, I wrote a book, right? And there's still a voice in there that says, who are you to write a book?
Yep.
Like, who's going to listen to you?
Yeah.
And so back to journaling, I have a brag book. I haven't done this in a long time, but a brag book is when somebody sends you, I got a text yesterday talking about, hey, I read the first 2 chapters, love this. I started this in my life, and I love that. And so I jot that little note in my brag book because on those days, like if I got a big keynote coming up, oh my gosh, what am I going to say?
Yep.
What are they going to think of me? I'm not near seasoned enough. I don't have the resources enough. I am not enough to be in this position. I look at my brag book and I'm like, well, I got some evidence that says I know what I'm doing, right?
Yep.
Right? When you coach somebody and they say, thank you so much for helping me through a divorce, even though I was doing the business coaching with them, and they give you that's evidence that supports, no, I am somebody. At least I have a set of tools that can help a few people.
Yep.
I'm not nobody, which my voice loves to tell me, right? So I think imposter, and all of these, to take one step back, all of these I want us to look at as not on or off, but a dial.
Yeah, that's right.
So I need that imposter syndrome to make me good at keynote speaking. Because if I think, this is perfect, I have reached the top, I am the man, all of you kiss my feet.
Right.
You can see how that's going to go.
Yep.
So that imposter syndrome, when I'm preparing for a presentation or something, I turn it down a little bit, but I still want it there because it's going to force me to do a good job.
That's right. You need at least a 3 or a 4 out of 10 so that you have the ability up there to speak with confidence from a place of experience and that I can add value to your life, and you should listen to what I have to say because I know it's benefited at least one person because they told me it did.
I think so.
It's kind of like I equate everything to like sports a lot of times, but a pitcher in the MLB might be having a rough moment, a rough inning, and he maybe needs that pitching coach or the manager to come out to him and just look at him and just tell him 3 or 4 words and just be like, dude, you got this.
Yeah.
That's all he needs. Or maybe you got to go out there and tell a joke and just snap him out of something. And then all of a sudden he strikes 2 guys out in the innings over.
Exactly.
It's all obviously it's all between the ears and stuff, but I like that dial, that volume just
Right.
needs to be adjusted
Right.
on these 4 horses.
Some people are like, Kelly, you're so positive. I'm like, well, it depends. When you load the sled up with a bunch of weight, Kenny G and Sunshine and Rainbows ain't going to get that off of you, boss.
No.
It's that FU energy, that thrash metal,
That's right.
beating on trash can type of stuff, that somebody just slapped your wife kind of energy.
No, you're right.
Here we go. Let's go.
Yeah, I gotta go lift a car off this person getting
but
crushed.
I better turn that down at the school pickup line.
That's right.
Playing Legos in the floor doesn't need FU roid energy.
No. Now you want Kenny G. Now you want the Kenny
exactly.
G.
So I think that concept alone helped me a lot in my journey. It's like I'm not this or that. I'm some version depending on what the situation needs, as long as it's still in line with core values and ethical, moral, all that kind of stuff.
Yes,
right?
yes.
But yeah.
What are our other 2 horsemen now? So everyone's waiting.
Oh, you'll have to remind me. I lost track of it.
They got victim and they got imposter.
Okay.
There's 2 more. There's 4 horsemen.
Remind me.
Oh, I have to remind you what they are?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I have to go back to here so I get it right. Because I have everything broken down.
Because there was like...
Here they are, right here. Okay, so...
We got victim.
Victim and imposter. Now, these next 2, I'm guilty. In some way, we're all guilty of all 4 of these things, right? Not just one. One might just be a little bit more... a little bit more common maybe in your life. The scarcity mindset, that's one that we've talked about a lot on this podcast over the years when it comes to leveling up and to getting, the greatness awaits you in your life if you're ready for it, and the step into your fear type stuff. The scarcity mindset is that, there's a piece of pie. Let's think of it's a pizza, right? And there's only 8 slices, and there's only so much to go around.
Yep.
And so I'm only able to have this one slice, because
Exactly.
there has to be enough for everybody else. And the thing is that the pie grows. The pie is as big as it needs to be, and that there's enough for everybody to have a slice.
Let's say that there is only a certain size pie. It's a big pie. It's a gigantic, infinite, almost pie.
Yes.
Are there only a certain amount of dollars in circulation? Yeah.
True.
I don't know what percentage you need of a couple of trillion to live your definition of success, but it's there.
Right.
Right?
That's right.
And so that money mindset, that's where the scarcity came in my own world. It's like money's hard to get, hard to hang on to. People with it did something shady to get it, and there's only a certain amount.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And as you start to move away from that, it's like, money's everywhere. And especially moving down to Florida, where every house that touches the water, and there are a lot of them, is a millionaire.
Yeah.
Essentially, right? So
a lot of people that live on canals that are not close to millionaire.
There's a lot of money around. There's plenty of it. Plenty of it. And I'm not so concerned with, I want all the money, but because I know what I have to do to get $1, I have to add value to somebody in order for them to give me $1. This book is what, $19 on Amazon, all right? Mm-hmm. There's $19 worth of value in here, and I'm okay with that. So I'm okay charging you $19 for that. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
If that makes any sense.
It does. It makes
Plus,
perfect sense.
there's plenty of it out there. There's plenty of resources. There's another person. There's a relationship, another job. There is enough out there. And if you just switch that little, I don't know, I can't do this for you. You're going to have to come to the realization at some point, even as finite as your life may be right now, you got to get up, get the kids packed for school, drive to the job, put in your 10, drive back, then do the dinner. I'm not suggesting this is easy.
Yep.
But there's also that switch that's you got enough, right? You got enough. And, I went to Nicaragua on a mission trip years ago, and seeing that for the first time, it's kind of one of those, Dude, I'm complaining about the Wi-Fi being slow in the back bedroom.
I know, ridiculous.
Dude, come on.
First world problems are crazy.
I don't have Sprite bottle flip-flops, and I have a job at 7 years old, and I don't know where.
And a soccer ball made out of garbage duct taped together, is the town soccer ball. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I mean that type of stuff. I mean, that's what you're seeing in these other remote, third world countries or other continents. Or I mean, a lot of people are living in poverty, especially compared to the people in this country. And we are so fortunate, so blessed. And
but if you say that to the single mom, single dad who's running and gunning as hard as they possibly can, they're doing a couple of jobs, they're scraping it, like that's a real hard. That's a easy from a place of position or whatever here for me to say, oh yeah, just look at the world differently. Like I understand how this looks, but also how else would you look at it if you were going to get out of that? Right? How else would you, if you feel like you're in a cage, you're in a cage.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
And if you can just, maybe it's possible. Maybe you can't jump to there's enough and I'm going to be taken care of. God helps me in that sense, right? Maybe you're not even there. Maybe just the feeling of it's possible, right? Maybe it's possible. And if you can get away from people like me, from where I'm from and my limited resources, they don't get success. If you can just remove that a little bit and say, well, maybe it's possible. I just hadn't found the right relationship, or maybe it's possible. I just hadn't looked at it a different way, or, I think that's a
perspective is certainly helpful.
Sure.
And then just also understanding that most of us are just in a season of life that will probably come to an end, and a new season or a new chapter of the book will begin. And so maybe at a certain moment of life, when your kids are maybe a certain age, or you have a certain job, or you live in a particular area, or, things are tough. And you just got to be gritty and be and just be willing to continue to work hard and to show up for other people. And hopefully, if you do that enough, that break will come, that day will come, that person, that relationship will come,
right.
that helps you out of that very difficult time.
As long as you can, the brain that's keeping you stuck is going to tell you, this guy's full of crap. That comment, that doesn't agree with me. Or this situation or political climate or whatever it is, like, you got to want to see it a little differently, right? You ever put on those like rose-colored glasses and now everything, to butcher the metaphor here. But that's all you see. That's all you see. Eventually you have to be like, is this serving me? How does it look? It looks a little different here.
Yep.
Not good, not bad.
Yep.
Just try to see something different.
Yeah.
Try to do something a little different. If you've been doing that thing for 10 years, I don't know, change it up a little bit.
That's right. Yeah.
At least.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good. You get the same result. You keep doing the same thing. You're getting the same results. Maybe it's time to shift a little bit.
Right.
Baby steps in a new direction. So our fourth horseman.
And the fourth one.
Yeah. So this is one actually I got over very quickly when I started making YouTube content. Because I realized I sucked. And if you do something enough and you're not good or you don't feel right, but you keep at it, and I just started making a lot of bad YouTube videos and putting them up for the whole world to see. And I got over myself real fast. Maybe it took 100, maybe it took 200 videos, but I eventually got better at it, and I became myself on camera rather than a version of myself. And I wasn't worried about making sure that I was perfect, because nothing's perfect. Nobody's perfect. And so the perfectionist who gets stuck on perfection, and I'm not going to release this or show it to others until it's a certain way. And what happens is it's just a block. You're just never going to put that thing out there or let the world see this this thing that you're capable of, because it just has to be so right, so perfect. The timing has to be there. The T's are crossed and the I's are dotted and everything has to line up. And for most of us, that's not the case. If it's 70% there, go.
Yeah.
Right?
That's hard for the perfectionists are the ones that I like to pick on the most. I think it's probably because I've been that a lot.
So it's easy to see it in others.
Well, you'll see how some of these kind of overlap, where the perfectionist value, we love to wear that as a badge. I'm a perfectionist. Like you're wearing, like it's I'm
OCD.
Like
I'm
it's
OCD.
good. Yeah. When did everything in its place, everything has a place, become perfectionism? No, that's just
right.
That's just right.
That's right.
But the perfectionist will say that it's just a form of procrastination.
Right.
Well, it's not good enough yet, and that's really hard to struggle with. It's really hard to. There's a YouTube rejection therapy. Have you seen that? Where the guy goes and he's really terrified of getting the word no. Have you seen this?
I don't know if I have.
So he tries to get the most absurd things for somebody to tell him no, as a form of rejection therapy, he calls it.
Oh, wait.
So he goes and knocks on the door.
Is there a book written about this?
Yeah, he's done a TED Talk, a YouTube.
Yeah, I know.
He tries
who
to get
this is.
100 no's.
Yes, I know exactly. I have that guy's book.
He's like,
never
can
read
I drive the squad car? And the guy's like, sure.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, all right. So I think the perfectionist has this elitist thing about them that, when I put my definition of perfection out there, it will be good enough.
Right.
No, your definition of perfection is somebody else's too.
That's right.
Okay? So, that's one thing.
Yep.
But two, it's like, I really don't want to put myself out there because I don't think I'm important enough. And so I'll hide behind this perfectionist kind of mentality. And that's just... It's one that you can poke holes in, but it's also the hardest. I think the easiest way to get over that is to just put something out there, and see what happens. But the perfectionists, their objection is, but I have elevated standards.
Yeah.
And I think you should keep those. But there's also this realism of, so you're a third-year associate at your first big boy job, and you want to do Supreme Court justice level stuff. No, boss. That's not how this works.
Right.
You don't get to put, if we're going to do this in a scale, if you're at a 4, you don't put out 9 work yet.
Right.
That does not say that your 5, 6, 7 work is not going to serve something and add value and things like that. So the only way that you're going to get better is to get that feedback from a 9 person. Again, that's
and
really
from
hard
what you can learn from failure.
Yeah.
Because anybody who's achieved a certain amount of success in life, or a certain status, or a certain position, has had a lot of failure.
Yeah.
And in failure and defeat is when we really grow and we really learn what we're made of and how to move differently the next time. And so if we get so hung up on it always being right and perfect and exactly what I envision in my head, we're hesitant to pull the trigger. You're better off firing as many shots as you can so that you can level up faster and probably get to where you're going a little bit quicker.
And don't you want to relax?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Like, man,
I did it. I at least did it.
I got a friend who
great.
I don't think she's ever been seen out in public where she's not completely put together.
Oh boy. Okay.
And
yeah.
I'm not going to out her.
No,
or
of course
add her
not.
here.
Please don't.
Right?
Please don't.
But I'm just going to use this as an example. Like, don't you want to relax?
Right.
Don't you? Like, you're not that important. Sorry. You're not that important that that your brain is telling you, if I go out in public and I'm not all put together, that people are going to judge me or whatever the thing is. You're not that important, babe. Right? You're not that important that you need to check your emails going 60 miles an hour out here on the highway.
That's right.
You're not that important. So whatever you put out that you think is less than or not good enough or whatever, you're never going to know until you put it out there. So I don't know. I don't think that's that's not a new concept, and that's not really a prescriptive thing to walk somebody towards. The book does a little bit better of a job of giving you the framework as to how to overcome some of these things, and it's so nuanced and so individualized that shameless plug, read the book and it'll help you overcome some of that stuff. But just that, I'm not that important. I got 85 years ish. Like, let's not take ourselves so seriously.
We do take ourselves quite
or
seriously.
Or at least be serious about serious things.
Yes, right.
And then,
right.
Like, I find myself with my son who just turned 5. We're doing Legos on the kitchen table yesterday. This is a real, at the dinner table, doing Legos. I'm like, hey, buddy, that piece goes here. And he's like, no, I don't want to put it here. I'm like, look, I'm reading the instructions right here. This piece goes right here. If we're not going to get this thing together, if we don't put this thing right here. And I have this kind of thing. And then I finally am like, dude, isn't the point of this to have a content kid and have fun with your, like, quality time with your son? You're doing it.
Right. And if he keeps building the wrong piece in the wrong spot, then
he's made his own creation.
He's made his own
creative.
Right.
He's thinking, using critical thinking. Isn't that what I'm trying to instill anyway?
Yep.
So let me get out of my way here a little bit.
I know we have our own, because we dads, we love to follow an instruction manual to the T. You know what I mean? This piece of furniture is not going to come together right if I don't put this screw here and this, and it's dude, it's a Lego. But that's funny, because my son and I did a lot of Legos together, and we just built a lot of fun Legos. And he was better at following the darn thing than I was, especially, as he 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you get more technical and bigger ones with thousands of pieces. And it's mind blowing what you can make with these things.
I was a Lego kid too, but it was just like a Ziploc bag of Legos.
There was no instructions.
From an older cousin.
Yes, correct.
There's no manual.
No, they didn't have the cool stuff that they have now. I mean, you're making like a Mustang or a head of Darth Vader or...
we were putting together a snow plow where you put the little pieces in the back, and as you go, it spits the salt out the back.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
pretty cool.
So I get that it's cool when we were having fun until I started perfectionism. This thing,
Yeah, exactly right. I had that dial turned up a little too high on the perfectionism.
But I am proud of the fact that I was able to recognize it, kind of be like, this doesn't matter at all.
That's right.
We're having fun. He's having fun. I'm having fun.
That's all that does matter.
Yeah.
You're together at the table doing something
right
that makes him feel good.
And of all these, if you can go, okay, I'm doing that thing again. It's not how I want to do it. How do I want to do it? And then act that way.
Yes.
And not drag. Gosh, I should have. I should have just let him do the thing. And
that's right.
I got to work. I got to be a better dad in that way. And, like the more time that you spend there, it's not serving you. Yes, you need to have that self-awareness. Yes, you need to have that come to Jesus meeting with yourself at times. But after that, it's like, put that over here, switch gears and go. Just that one thing is the difference between good leaders and elite leaders. They are able to, one of the guys I coached for many, many years, Fortune 50 company, God knows how many millions of dollars this guy makes in a year.
Wow.
Felt like a huge imposter because what am I going to teach this guy? But to watch him have a tough conversation with a salesperson, and then the receptionist come in and he's just so bubbly and warm and nice and charismatic. And then he switches to me and he's in this thought curative, teach me something mode.
Wow.
And then back on, like, being able to switch those gears, that's an elite skill that if anything out of this book you need to work on, like I would lean into that.
That's
one.
pretty awesome.
Be able to just set that thing down and turn and go the other way.
You said something really cool too about this, and I want to ask you about the B.U.T framework.
Yeah.
But you had written it down here, and I liked what it said here.
All right.
You had written that every leader is riding at least one of those 4 horsemen, and you wrote here, you walk through each one, and it gives listeners a mirror and a door out. Yeah. So it's kind of neat. A mirror to see that horseman in you, and a door out in order to, kind of exit from that having so much control over you,
Right.
So much power and authority over you, and realizing that it is a dial that you can adjust as needed. But we have to recognize things in ourselves, just like you recognize sitting at the dinner table with the Legos, and I've talked about that. In real time, you have to kind of always be assessing how you're responding and acting in a moment and adjust, and not just have regret and always thinking, oh, I could have done it better yesterday. I could have done it better. Like in real time, as we get older and wiser, hopefully, we can actually pivot right in the moment and actually be the person that we really want to be, rather than always reflecting on what we wish we did.
On my monitor, I have at my desk, stand-up desk, I have a Post-it note here and a Post-it note here. And this one says, it's not about you. And the other one says, focus on them.
Yeah.
And I think that's how to pivot. Yeah. When I'm sitting there playing Legos and I'm in my hardcore dad move and I'm dragging the stuff from the day, if I continue to make it about me and my thoughts and my feelings, my ego and how I feel and this, that, and the other, I'm going to stay in there.
Yep.
But the second I can switch, I get cold chills. The second I look at that 5-year-old and go, he doesn't deserve, like, it's dad over whatever stuff I got going on.
That's right.
Let's focus on him and what's going to make him happy and content. What does he need right now? That's a much easier shift for me to kind of put that thing down and pick up where I'm supposed to be.
Yep.
I think that's, we do more for others than we'll do for ourselves a lot of times.
True. Very true.
And when it's our kids, like,
Yep.
yeah. I got a good example.
That's great.
I was at an interview one time and I said, let me do this. You're walking your dog through the park, through the woods, and the leaves rustle behind you. Your brain goes, oh, what's something coming out of the bushes going to get me, right? Or something like that.
Sure.
If your kid is with you, you go, I wish something would come out of these bushes. I will rip this thing apart and show it to my son and throw it.
That's
down.
right. No,
right. So
total shift.
Same thing. Like that is the power of when you put it off to somebody else that you care about or you respect or things like that. So
yeah,
like,
to hell with me.
Yeah.
At that point, you don't care about you.
Right.
You care about I'm provider, I'm protector, I'm the one in charge around here.
You think that guy's going to lift a car if we just said, hey, you could lift this car over here? And then you're like, hey, you could lift this car over here. Your kid's underneath it.
Yeah, damn right I can.
Right. Yeah. So it's that kind of thing.
Wow.
Where that comes from?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I don't know.
It's not our power.
Yeah.
It's not just us, because there's been a lot of stories over the decades and centuries of people doing truly remarkable feats that are unexplainable.
Sure.
Or unexplicable. I'll sound smart for a second.
Yeah, there you go.
Right?
There you go.
So I got to know about the B.U.T framework.
Okay.
And that's just with one T, B-U-T. So let's break it down for everybody so that they understand kind of the title of the book, Move Your Butt.
Yeah. So I love story. Like one of my favorite books is Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. I think it's a great story.
I have yet to. I know the book.
It's
I've
good.
heard him interviewed about it.
Yeah.
I know a lot about the book. Have yet to read it.
It's good. You got to listen to it because he puts his Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, okay. So do it as an audio book.
He does it. Does it really good.
Okay.
Really well. So I didn't want it as story heavy. I want something that I wish I had, and so there's a bit of a framework for how to move forward. Because a lot of times you give somebody a concept and you're like, I don't know, what do I do with that now? It sounds good. Looks good on a t-shirt.
Sure.
What am I supposed to do with it now?
Right.
And so the book's a little more prescriptive for how to do this, but you got to start with a framework. And so I turned BUT into an acronym.
Sure.
So the B is blueprint. That's where you have to start with your definition of success. Full stop. Instead of getting to the how, or will that work, or do I have the resources, or whatever the case may be, clearly defined success. What does that look like?
Yeah.
Is it mansion at Snail Isle with 14 jet skis out front? Great. Go do you, babe.
Sure.
Is it van down by the river? That's cool nowadays. It's cool nowadays, right?
Man, down by the river.
My name's Matt Foley.
Yeah.
is if that's your definition of success, fine.
Yeah.
And it's not so much like societal expectation, because that gets taken out of it. What does a good dad look like to you? What is a good husband, father? What do you want your physical body to look like, feel like, like you have to define that. That's going to do a couple of things. One, it gives you a target, right? Not to get all nerdy neuroscience, but if you have that reticular activating system, you've heard that before. If I tell you, find something red in this room, now you're charged in on it.
Yeah.
That is what getting a clear, defined definition of success. That's what it gives you. Whoop-de-doo. Now what am I going to do? Like walk that back to where you are now. Don't try to be a 10. If you're at a 3, try to get to 4 and then 5. But define what that looks like. You're a fitness guy. We're in a gym. Somebody comes to you and they've let that dad bod go a little bit, and they're like, I got 35 extra that I need to get rid of. Where would you start? 1. Let's lose 1 pound first.
That's right.
Then, so that's the concept. And I think if people will do that in their, what does a good husband look like to me? Now, it's even better if you have this conversation with your wife.
Sure.
And I do this all the time, and my wife is like, "Oh gosh, here we go again."
Here we go again, honey.
But I'll say something like, "Hey, we're going out of town this weekend. If we got back Monday and you said that was the best weekend ever, what would have happened?" And let her tell me what her definition of success is.
Good.
I don't have to guess. Now, if
that works with the best restaurant. Have you heard the best restaurant thing? How to trick your wife, or how to say it sounds awful, but it's how you look like the hero. You because inevitably, if a husband and wife get a chance to go out to dinner, right? You want to go where your wife is happiest, where she wants to go.
Oh yeah.
You go, babe. Guess where we're going for dinner? Just guess.
Yeah.
And then what's her first guess going to be? Probably where she wants to go.
You're right.
And if she says that, whatever the first one is, you go, you nailed. That's it. This is exactly where we're going. And she'll be like, no way. You'll be like, yes. You did. But really, instead of you saying, hey, where do you want to go for dinner? You just flipped it a little bit by saying, guess where we're going for dinner. I already booked it. It's already, hopefully you get in.
Yeah.
Now, that she told you where she wants to go, but it's just a good,
so
I think it's a good way to look like the hero.
You've got to have that core intrinsic, what is success to me?
Yeah.
Because I could tell you, I got a goal of 3 push-ups. That's going to feel weird to me because I can do a lot more push-ups than that. So I can't cheat myself. When you're lying to yourself.
Yeah, oh, totally.
Right? Yeah. It's easy to do the weightlifting and that sort of thing. You get up under the bench and you're like, oh man, I know I could do more than this, but I just kind of phone it in here. That ick is going to follow you.
Yep.
So define what success looks like, kind of walk that back into very easy, what can I do right now with what I have kind of thing. You don't need all the fancy things. Just start with where you're at. And that applies to sales calls, to managing your team, to whatever it is you got going on in your life. And when you're defining success, when you're creating a blueprint, you're basically creating a blueprint. Don't go 10 years out.
No, too far. Too far.
2-3 years. Let's keep it there. I know you want a Pulitzer prize, prize or whatever.
Right.
Okay. What are you going to get in the next 18 months, year, 2 years? Let's keep it there because, God has this funny way of laughing when you make plans, kind of thing.
And maybe your blueprint is say one-dimensional in the beginning. It's for one area of your life.
Right.
But eventually you probably want to have a blueprint, so to speak, for the different areas, right? Like so as a family man, as a professional.
In the book, there is an assessment, scale of 1 to 10 kind of thing. I just like putting numbers to it. Maybe that's personality, but it also is like, let's measure this thing.
Yeah, sure.
How do you know if you're getting stronger?
Right.
Like, how do you know if you're doing more? How do you know if you're living up to whatever that expectation is? So the book has a really good assessment of all those key areas: mission, vision, life, finance, significant, like all that stuff.
Yep.
Kind of ask you a question, let you rate it, then kind of sit with that. What does that look like, and what would the next level look like? And then just do that thing. I think a lot of times this indecision purgatory that we sit in, it's just overwhelm of all the choices that we have. How would I grow this business? Well, gosh, there's a lot of ways to grow a business.
Yep.
how do I want to grow my business? Who do I want to serve? What does that look like? What product am I going to sell them? Once you get clearer and clearer, then you just wake up and follow the thing, right?
Yep.
I mean, I know we're oversimplifying this thing, but it has to be that simple in the beginning. Put language to it in your own way. And then, so that the first B is blueprint, and you have to start there, right?
Yep.
Now, the U, that's going to be the uncover part. So that's two things. That's uncovering your psychology and your skill set. I think those two go hand in hand, and they're not normally put together a lot. Let's say that you define success as you want to make $100 million this year. And then you get to uncover, and your psychology says you got a terrible money mindset and no skill set, or at least not skills enough developed. So there's that ick kind of thing that I was talking about earlier. Mm-hmm. So the U, that's uncovering what your belief system is. What is your psychology around this thing? I mentioned with my money mindset, that was just held me back for years. I'm like, trade an hour for $1 kind of thing.
Yep.
And now I trade value. I'm going to add more value to you. You're going to pay me $10 for $100 worth of value. I'm okay with that. And your money mindset switches instantly, right?
Yep.
If I want to make a lot of money, I got to add a lot of value. Full stop. I'm okay with that because I'm not selling you snake oil. I'm not feeding you full of lies here.
Yep.
So once you uncover the psychology, then you start to look at, okay, what skill set do I need? What skill set is going to help me the most get here? I think it's communication. We talked about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Being able to form a thought. That's why journaling is so important. Let you get those thoughts. Practicing. Waitresses at restaurants, waiters and waitresses, bartenders, like that's an easy way to practice your communication style, your lines, if you will.
Interacting with strangers, perfect strangers,
You don't owe them anything. They don't owe you anything.
No.
If you botch it, don't go to that restaurant again.
That's right.
So practicing that skill set, whatever it may be, that gets you to that definition of success. I think it's pretty basic in its concept, but once you devote some time to sit there and, all right, what skill set do I need? How am I going to grow this gym here? All right, what's my client acquisition cost? How much does it cost me to get a client? All right, now how am I going to make that up? And what products do I have? And who does that serve? Like the puzzle piece that comes with that. Like Legos, like can kind of nerd out on that, and I definitely do. Like, and then any questions on the B of the U?
I love that, and I love what you said. When you're providing value, and it's typically being in service to others. If you're solving a problem that other people have in some way, and I think you said something just about you went to restaurant work or waiting tables, and I think that's such a valuable job to perform, dealing with the public. In a maybe in your teenage years or early 20s, we all kind of have that. We need money, right? And we're not in our professional careers yet. I think it's like one of the smartest things you can do is work in public service in a restaurant, because it puts you in. You have to work hard. You're on your feet. It can be stressful. You're serving other people who you don't know. And you're interacting in a way that you're going to have difficult people that you're dealing with. You're going to have great people. You're going to make friends. You're going to create opportunities maybe. It's networking. People are going to fall in love with you because you're a great server, and that could lead to an opportunity. I just think it's such a great I worked in restaurants for years. My mom was a lifelong restaurateur who did everything in a restaurant. Same with my stepfather. Both my brothers worked for years. And eventually everybody kind of took on new roles and new professions, but it was a great stepping stone to other pathways and stuff. I just see it as such a great, valuable time of my life was working in restaurants and the doors that it opened and the things that you learned from it. And
the money's great if you're good
at it. And the money's great.
What else can you do for 4 hours and make a couple $100?
I know
right?
it.
Like, I mean,
I know it.
as a 16-year-old kid.
It's true. It's true. And it's fun in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
It's actually quite fun. And I've never worked at a job where time went by faster than working in a restaurant.
Yeah.
You show up at 5:00 and it's 10:00. You just made $200-300. You're exhausted, but you're also energized. And you have all this cash, a wad of cash in your pocket, and you're hanging out now with the people you just busted your butt with,
Right.
having a beer or whatever. Like there's so many good memories from it and so much fun.
I think
It's
that's
very
same thing, though,
rewarding.
it speaks to a lot of the way neuroscience. There's a lot of neuroscientists, and the neuroscientists out there, you're gonna don't send me the email. Keep your email to yourself. But what happens is like you know how to do the job, right?
Yeah.
Which is a lot. So you just apply that into whatever you do now. So know how to do it. You need some competency.
Yeah.
And that would build the confidence.
Yep.
So whether you're making widgets or keynotes or books or gems or whatever it is, if you know how to do it and you know that, okay, I wait on this table and I go back here and put the order in, like you know the process, that's a lot of it. And that's what I do a lot for my business clients is you got to know. It's not come in and see which fire's burning the hottest, which is the way a lot of leaders run.
That's right.
It's like, nope, you got your SOP. You know how to do your operating procedure here.
Yeah.
I think that has a lot of confidence and a lot of quiet the noise kind of thing, as long as you know this process equals whatever desired outcome. So make lemonade, put ice, put sign out. Somebody comes by, hands you $1 for said lemonade, an entrepreneur is born.
Right.
That person for forever and ever, amen, knows this effort focused right here equals $1. Then you've got it. And I think a lot of people just kind of fall into their jobs, right? And then they climb the corporate ladder, and then they're just running around chasing fires. When if they would just kind of step back, let's blueprint what success should look like
Yeah.
first.
Yep.
Right? You can work a crappy job and have a very successful life. Like Mike Rowe with Dirty Jobs.
Oh, my gosh.
You think the guy nipples deep in poop was... No, it was one of the happiest guys ever. He was making $1 million a year.
And we need that guy.
And we need that guy, right? So he found a way to do exactly what I'm talking about. Did he love porta potty business? Probably not. Did it provide a life that and the definition of success that he was after? Yeah, it did. So he was a happy guy. You know, whether that's a Wall Street banker or
What a great
whatever.
idea that was, too,
Dude.
for a show,
Yeah,
Dirty Jobs. And couldn't have picked a better guy to be, the face of the show.
But you
the
think
voice of
you
the
think
show,
a theater opera guy
I know.
had that on his vision board?
No,
no,
never.
he didn't.
No.
No. He was like, well, let's just see what
became
happens.
world famous because of that thing. I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. There's no voice in all of television world that I prefer over Mike Rowe.
Yeah.
If he's narrating anything, I will watch and
Yeah.
listen.
And
my
David
wife,
Attenborough.
my wife and I. Oh, Dave Attenborough
Yeah,
just
he
turned
had-
100.
Oh, he did.
Yeah. Attenborough, right?
Yeah.
The nature guy.
Yeah, right.
I think I just saw something the other day in my feed. Of course, when this releases, there's 4 or 6 weeks from now, but he just turned 100 years old. And I'm like, wow. And when it comes to nature, what a great, I love it.
Yeah.
But talk about providing a service, just doing something that obviously that they were kind of gifted with this amazing way of orating in a way that's just so appealing to everybody. Everybody finds pleasure in that, and that's something. It's mind-boggling. But if you get the wrong narrator, my wife won't want to watch a show. She'll hear a guy talk for 10 seconds. She'll go, "Oh, I can't stand that guy's
I do that
voice.
with audiobooks.
I can't watch that.
I'm like, I can't listen.
I
to
can't
this.
listen to this
I can't
audiobook.
listen to
It's a
this. It's
major
distracting
turnoff.
and
Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody has a weird twang or tone
Or robotic or not,
yes,
no inflection. It's
monotone.
like, who was the guy that did the Visine commercials? You remember the guy? Clear red eyes.
Ben
Visine.
Stein?
Yeah.
Yes. like if he did an audiobook, I couldn't listen to it.
No.
He's entertaining for
Yeah,
what
yeah,
he
yeah.
does. Bueller, right? But
He's turned that into a shtick, but I don't want to read his dissertation.
No. So, okay, everyone's waiting
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now
yeah,
for the
T.
final letter. What's the T?
So the T is where we start to apply it. And there's actually 3 T's in there, but it's take responsibility and take control and take action. So the T is take. First, you got to take responsibility. The cavalry ain't coming. You can wish it all. Like, I'm old enough, you're old enough to remember Ed McMahon when we would show up
my
to the
gosh.
house with the cardboard check and the balloons.
Of course.
That day ain't coming.
That's
Publishers Clearinghouse.
Yes,
Yeah.
I used to love those commercials because I'm like, maybe one day that'll be on.
And that's the way I used to sit at my desk.
Sure.
So I'm mid-level manager. I got a team. I'm getting to sit at the big table every once in a while, and I'm sitting there thinking, man, is this it? I did all the things you said I was supposed to do. You said society. I mean,
Sure.
Go to school, get married, climb a corporate ladder, contribute to a 401k, buy a house, kid, die. Like that's the through line. And I'm like, I'm doing this stuff. Like, and then I've reached this certain spot, and I'm like, is this it? Is this all there is? And then you would just, man, if I could just catch a lick, if I just get a break, that break ain't coming. It ain't gonna knock on your door.
Right.
It ain't gonna fall out of the sky and land on top of you. So you got to first take responsibility. It's on you. Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. Great book. It's kind of a man's book, but
sure.
It'll really hold that. You're late for work, you should have left early, right? Stop projecting this fault and blame outward. It's on you. Your marriage is terrible. Hey, you own a piece of that. It may not be all of it, but you own a piece of that. You don't absolve yourself from any responsibility.
Right. Yep.
Take control. Control was a big one for me. I have this bullseye. We'll do a little demographic, a little diagram here. Draw a circle on a piece of paper the size of a quarter.
Okay.
And put you in the middle of it. You are only in control 100%. Your thoughts, your feelings, your actions. Right? Next circle of influence. I can't make you eat the broccoli, Elijah, but I have influence. You're not going to get a dessert if we don't eat the broccoli or whatever it is. Hey, Linda, can you send me the email? I can't make you send the email. And then outside of that is out of your control. So when I do a keynote, I usually say, what's the last thing you swore up into the heavens about or complained about or made you mad or got really pissed off? And they'll give me weather, taxes, traffic, people that are bad drivers,
yes,
family members, something like that.
People that are bad drivers.
And then I go through this exercise with them, and I'm like, all right, let's see your responses. Where are they? And we devote so much time and energy on things that we can't control. I'm not saying be complacent. I'm not saying just throw your hands up and say, Jesus, take the wheel. But if you're devoting a lot of time to stuff that you don't have any control over, it's just a waste of time. So get control. And then take
emotional time, emotional energy.
Yeah.
I mean, we invest so much, and I'm guilty of that for sure.
Here's a story from the book. Moving down to Florida, I noticed when you go to the grocery store, the shopping carts. In North Carolina, we call them buggies.
Okay.
They're everywhere. Up in the bushes or in the parking lot.
This up in North Carolina?
No. This is here in Florida.
Down here.
I noticed it when I was here.
Okay.
And I just used to send me in a rage. Yeah. What kind of lazy piece of crap
would do that? Yeah.
You did 48 laps inside, and then you decided to give up 12 paces to the cart return.
I know.
And sometimes you see them up in the bushes.
Yes.
So you had the mental and physical fortitude to heave this buggy up into the azaleas, and you couldn't take it back. So you should send me into a rage. And I'm coming out of Publix in Pasadena one time. I got some beers in one hand and some steaks in the other, headed to a barbecue with some buddies. Happy. Joy. Smile on my face.
Uh-oh.
And I see that shopping cart where somebody just kind of pushed it. And immediately I went to rage. And I'm like, picked up my gate. I'm going to give this person the stink eye of all stink eyes. And I round the back of the car and I look in, and there's a guy who's 100 years old, missing a leg, dragging himself into his car, doing the best he could possibly do. And I felt about this tall.
Yeah.
And from then on, it's like, I don't know your story. I don't know if you're late for a funeral or trying to get the kids in the van.
You didn't lay into them or anything,
No,
right?
No, I didn't. No, I felt this big.
Of course,
like, I got you, boss.
Yeah.
You know,
I'll put your car back.
Yeah. So just that little shift is all the stuff that no telling how many years of my life I devoted to a shopping cart.
Yep.
Shopping cart logistics is how I'm going to crash out of this thing.
Yep.
No. So you have that taking control of what you can control. I'm in control of my vehicle. Do I lose my shit every once in a while? Sure.
Yep.
I'm human, not perfect.
That's right.
But if you can just come back to that, I don't know what they got going on.
That's exactly right. We don't know. Somebody cuts you off or somebody's a lousy driver. We've all dealt with this. Maybe they just got the worst news of their life. They lost their job. Somebody passed away. Somebody's ill. Who knows? Something personal that's just, they're a wreck. They're a mess. And they're not in their right mind. And they're erratic. And you don't know that. Sure. I mean, are there a lot of people probably that don't fit that description or are just horrendous
but you don't know.
drivers? But
you're making up the truth.
We make up our own little stories, don't we?
Yeah. You're making up the story. It's equal of all the different possibilities. All of them are equally true because you don't know.
That's right.
So you just
my wife and I, we go for a lot of walks with the dogs in our neighborhood and stuff, and we're on kind of a main road, and I'm always picking up the trash that I see along this main roadway along the sidewalk. And it's very irritating. We'll bring trash bags with us sometimes because I'm like, this is our pathway that we travel all the time with walking our dogs. I don't want to see other people's trash. But I bet you half of that or more just blows out of people's truck. They didn't throw it out. It just...
But your brain's like...
My brain is, what kind of jerk loser would throw this out or throw that out? And I'm sure there's a few people that do that, but generally it's probably just purely accidental.
I think for the audience, your brain is
right.
How about that for the YouTube clip? Like your brain is designed to give you that instant thing that may or may not be true, and hopefully in here in this conversation and others, just have a little bit of that.
Yep.
Just all you need is a second to go, is this true? Is this serving me or is it not? And I know this sounds woo-woo, like it should be on the back of a VW bus headed down the road, but just have that little second to go, all right, so? Or, and then what?
Right.
Like, all right.
Yep.
You feel good because you went out and picked up trash.
Right.
Had there not been any trash out there, you would have been robbed the gift of feeling good about doing a service.
Exactly right.
So you could spin this in any amount of way. I guess the core concept is just having that ability to look at things from a different...
reframe things
from a
little
different
bit.
way.
Yeah. Because there's so many unknowns, and we can't just latch on to these little stories that we fool ourselves with when we really just don't have any. I like that what you said. You got that little you in the middle, and then this other little ring around you that are people that you can have some kind of influence on. But the bigger ring, these are all these unknown factors that are happening in our world that dictate things that happen to us in our day. We have zero control over.
Right. Or you vote.
Yeah.
You don't like the government? All you got
that's what you got.
Is a vote.
That's it.
Right? You got a little bit of a voice in whatever community that is.
Yep.
So once you walk through these exercise and you figure that out, it still leaves you with, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And the best question to ask is, what is my next right action? Not from frustrated, not from, crazy gridlock traffic, not from overstimulated mom, or whatever that is. That version, I defined success earlier. What does that person do right now? It might be punch a pillow. It might be call your mom. It might be go for a walk. It might be write your thesis. It could be whatever. But if you frame that question from the person that you are trying to live up to and that next best version of yourself, ask it from that. What would that person do right now? And it might just be take a breath. It might just be switch gears from irritated dad who's not following the instructions with his 5-year-old building Legos to, why don't we just have some fun at the kitchen table here?
Yep.
And I think that if you put that together, I think it's going to save you a lot of at least stress, at least wasted bandwidth on other things.
Things that, I'm so quick to get irritated over the littlest things that are forgettable.
Yeah.
By the next day or a week later. Like you don't even remember. What got me so worked up? My God. My wife will say that sometimes. Like, and the thing is, this is what's funny is, and some people I'm sure can relate, I can get really worked up over the most insignificant thing, but I calm right back down very quickly. Whereas my impact on my spouse, my wife, she doesn't come back down as quickly as I do. So I just got all riled up, which affected her, but now it might take her an hour to reset, to wind back down to normal. after my little blow up, and I'm fine in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And you got to think about that. And I've gotten better, I think, in some ways, at least recognizing those moments, biting my lip better, or not saying anything, or separating myself from.
Ask, do you need me to help you, hear you, or hug you? And let her tell you.
Yeah.
Because I am a jump in and solve the problem guy.
Yeah. That's most guys. I mean,
she's like, I got this thing at work, and I got these employees, and and I'm like, well, you should do this and this and this, and do you need me to help you, hug you, or hear you? And sometimes she needs a hug, just that's simple moment of just like, all right, let this thing go. Sometimes I got to sit there and hear a bitch session. That's fine too.
That's right.
Sometimes it's like, okay, what do you think?
Sometimes she does need you to help fix something.
Yeah. But at least I'm not smart enough to know what she's dealing with, but at least I have some syntax and some language and a way to communicate that keeps me from getting in worse trouble.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. Yeah. That's good. That's good advice.
So that's it. So blueprint, uncover, and take. That's the simple formula. So for the leaders that are out there and you're sitting at your desk, who's really going to get the most out of this book is the person who has a lot of those checklists in their life. Like, I got a job, the bills are paid, I got a family, all those things. I got it. But at 3 a.m. when the house is quiet and it's just them and their thoughts, something feels off. This book is for the person who's one step away from the next level in their life and they keep kicking the can down the road.
Yeah.
This thing is going to meet you where you are. Very practical, there's not a fluff and woo-woo. There's not theory, framework, some stories from a guy who's been around the world a couple times and knows a few things, still trying to learn this thing. That's who this book is written for, and I'm super excited about it.
That's awesome. Now, where are the best places for people to go listening? Obviously, we're going to have links in the show notes, so people can, in a matter of a click or two, can access this book. But what's your recommendation for where they should
Amazon's going to be the easiest place. Okay. You can also go to kellymoser.com or moveyourbutt.com. They all point to the same place. There's a spot there. You can get it. And I just the book is designed that after each chapter, I try to drive you to a toolkit. So I built a toolkit for it, and it just helps facilitate the space to ask the questions. It's a little survey that is just prompting you to think and get that self-awareness and apply some of these tools and get some specificity to it so that you know what to do. I don't want you to get to the end of this book and be like, that was cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I would. Like, I'll take that. I'll take that. That you finished the book.
The casual reader.
Yeah. But I would love to get a text message from you that said, man, I was stuck with this thing and I used this and I didn't apply it like this. I did it like I want you to have some critical thinking. Don't just take this and like apply it however you see fit in your own life. Yeah. And I love it. I love getting those messages. There's been a couple of people already review the book on Amazon. They're like, because some people see you in a certain way. Like I have my gym buddies. They don't know what I do. And then one of them was like, I didn't know you were smart.
I just saw you as a workout guy or whatever.
Thanks.
Yeah. I've gotten that once or twice before.
I thought you were a meathead, right? It's
like, I am.
It's
one hat I wear.
And I am that.
That's great. That's awesome. And right now, obviously, it's a hold in your hand real book, which we talked about earlier before we started recording. I like a real, authentic book. I just bought one. Another friend recommended to me. But eventually you do think, because you got the voice for it, you will do an audio version?
Yeah, that's already in the works.
Awesome.
We were talking off camera before we started. I've read probably 500 books in the past 6 or 7 years, and none of them have been a physical book. It's all been audio.
Yeah.
I think that's just, it has to be done, and if I'm going to do it, it's going to be in my own voice.
Well, people, they listen, people nowadays, they're at the coffee shop listening to a book while working, or they're driving, listening to a book. They are at a kid's sporting event, listening. People, we're multitasking in ways that are actually very, I think, helpful. Can be if you can consume a book while you're at a 5-year-old's soccer game.
Right.
You're not missing the game. You're watching the game, but you're also maybe benefiting from something. Maybe it's just music you want to listen to or a podcast.
As long as you're intentional with okay, I need to be here present doing Legos. Okay, then do that.
Sure, right. Maybe not while you're doing Legos.
But if it's, be intentional, like, okay, my commute to work, I'm going to listen to a book. I think for me, I'm such a slow reader and I don't comprehend it. Like and I don't have 10 hours to sit and read a book. It would take me forever. Plus, I'm not going to retain it. So I would just rather listen to, maybe I retain a little bit less, but I get more, if that makes any sense.
No, it makes perfect
Audiobook
sense.
coming. It's right now it's in Kindle and the paperback. And I just, do me the solid of sending me a message that say, hey, I picked up the book and here's a takeaway, because there's more coming from this. Little spoiler or teaser, if you will. One of the most surprising things with writing this book was, one, how much I enjoyed putting the pieces together.
Yeah.
Because this is 10 years in the making kind of thing.
Right.
But also, there's a kid version coming. Where
cool.
I think, well, the first one, just to kind of give you the premise, Eddie, it's called Move Your Butt, Eddie. And so Eddie goes to his home playground and he sees a couple of new kids on the playground, and his butt is, I really want to play, but what if they don't like me? Yeah. And so it walks you through a kid version of how, okay, take a step. What can it, it kind of walks Eddie through this journey, and they end up having a good time playing tag, right? That sort of thing.
That's great.
And that was really surprising, and I'm really excited about, you see the infinite amount of books that could be and tailored to different. So from a business perspective, I get that, but also, what if we could expose our kids to this stuff that they're sure as hell not getting in schools, and just say, hey, have you thought about this? Has that little voice ever told you, well, what if I'm not good enough? Try this. See if it works in your life or whatever your situation is. So,
great.
I'm really excited about that part. I'm excited about this one, but
of course.
I like
Yeah, there's other possibilities with it. That is very exciting and applicable, obviously, to our young people. And then obviously, then you're probably going to have somebody who doing drawing and stuff. Like if you're doing a kid's book, you gotta have some color.
For sure.
Some other good things that go with it. So that's a fun way to go. Well, I appreciate you so much for coming in, sharing your debut book, and I know it'll be a benefit. I've gotten a lot out of just our conversation today, and so I encourage everybody listening, please check the show description for the link, and you, in just a couple of clicks, can get access to this great book, Move Your Butt, by our guest, Kelly Moser, and or go to kellymoser.com or moveyourbutt.com.
They all point to the same place.
They all point, and it's Move Your Butt with one T, and Kelly is KELLYMOSER.com. So we appreciate you, of course, tuning in to the Strong by Design podcast, for coming back, for supporting us. Please share this with someone in your life who could benefit from all of the wisdom that Kelly shared with us today. We got so much. I mean, it's almost like I feel like I've read the book in some ways, but I know there's a lot of details and specifics in there that we weren't able to get to. So definitely explore the book. Support him in this effort. And if you really want the audio version, it's in the works. So you can you just wait for it. And we appreciate you so much. God bless you, and we'll talk with you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Strong by Design podcast. If you found value in today's episode, please subscribe so that more people can find out about our show. Plus, you don't want to miss any future episodes with the amazing guests and topics we have lined up for you.